No matter what anyone thinks, Formula One is the ultimate pinnacle of motorsports, where some of the most talented drivers race at blazing fast speeds in highly technologically advanced cars made by top engineers. This sport is both the most popular and dangerous, and is also the most expensive in the world, considered the ultimate dream for every aspiring racing driver. There have been plenty of dominant men and machines in Formula One's 73-year history, especially when you look at the wins that teammates racked up in the same car over a year or two. We will take you on a journey through the history of Formula One wins with a complete list of the 15 most successful F1 cars of all time. We won't only be considering the number of race wins, but also the percentage of victories taken from the total amount of races each car entered. That way, it will help give a more accurate representation of the most successful F1 cars. Let's get started and enjoy the video. Number 15. Benetton B195. Back in the middle of the 1990s, Williams Racing dominated Formula One, winning 5 Constructors' World Championships in 6 seasons. Their only rival were McLaren and Benetton. While Formula One was still recovering from the tragic death of Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher established himself as the best Formula One driver of his generation. For the 1995 season, Benetton joined the Williams team in adopting Renault V10 engines, and the two teams expected to be strong contenders for the World Championship title once again. Benetton's best drivers and race strategy may have given them an advantage over Williams despite the FW17 being a better car. Michael Schumacher and Johnny Herbert secured 11 wins out of 17 races in the Benetton B195, including 3 back-to-back victories, giving Benetton the first and only Constructors' World title for the team. Number 14. Red Bull RB9. For starters, Red Bull recently has been one of the most dominant teams to have competed in Formula One, focusing on their impressive performances in the V6 hybrid era to their dominant presence in the V8 era. 2013 marked the end of a V8 era in Formula One. The Red Bull RB9 is an F1 car driven by 4-time champion Sebastian Vettel and teammate Mark Webber. Vettel racked up his 4th consecutive title in this car after claiming 13 out of 19 wins during the 2013 season. Red Bull won 4 constructor titles during the V8 era in 2010 to 2013, but lost to Mercedes in 2014 when the V6 hybrid regulations became the new norm. The RB9 holds the record for the most wins in a single season during the V8 era of Formula One. Number 13. Mercedes-AMG F1 W10. This F1 car dominated the 2019 season, driven by 7-time F1 champion Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. The W10 secured Mercedes' 6th Constructors' title, matching Ferrari's record from 1999 to 2004. Although the Mercedes W10 was not the quickest car on the track, it proved to have the most fuel-efficient power unit despite experiencing ups and downs. Throughout the year, both Mercedes drivers, Hamilton and Bottas, achieved 15 total race wins and 9 pole positions, with Hamilton taking 11 victories and Bottas securing 4. Number 12. Mercedes-Benz W196. The 1950s was the birth decade of Formula One racing and quickly became the world's most prestigious motorsport. In the hands of Stirling Moss and Juan Manuel Fangio, the W196 Mercedes was one of the first F1 cars to race in more than one season in the sport, as Mercedes ran it in both 1954 and 1955, winning race after race, grabbing 9 victories and only 2 world championships in which it competed. Number 11. Williams FW18. After losing to the Benetton team in 1995, the Williams Renault team sat revenge and aimed for the overall 1996 championship. The FW18 was highly reliable and competitive, drawing heavily from its successful predecessor. With at least one Williams driver on the podium for every race, it excelled on all different types of circuits. Powered by a 3-liter Renault V10 engine, the FW18 conquered the 1996 Constructors' title, winning 12 out of 16 races, 75% of the races, and 6 consecutive 1-2 finishes with Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve at the wheel. Number 10. Ferrari F2004. Ross Brawn, one of the most successful figures in Formula 1, played a vital role in developing iconic race cars. Chief among these is the F2004, which builds on a successful predecessor, taking it to the next level in Scuderia Ferrari's run of success since 1999, earning the team its 6th straight Constructors' Championship and Mike Schumacher his 7th and final World Drivers' title in 2004. The F2004 won 15 out of 18 races and 75% of races and brought it into Ferrari's and Schumacher's 5-year domination of the sport that eventually lost its crown to Fernando Alonso's Renault. Number 9. Mercedes AMG F1 W11. Another car that helped Lewis Hamilton win his 7th title in 2020 from the Mercedes-AMG F1 team. The W11 introduced innovations like dual-axis steering for better tire warming and cornering with 0 and negative toe settings. It helped Mercedes dominate the season, with Lewis winning 13 out of 17 races and multiple 1-2 finishes with his teammate Bottas. It resulted in Mercedes securing a 7th straight F1 World Constructors' title, breaking a record for consecutive championships previously held by Ferrari. Unfortunately, the FIA banned dual-axis steering from the car after the 2020 season. The W11's numerous tracks and fastest lap records that contributed to its success make it one of the most successful F1 cars in history. Number 8. Red Bull RB18. On this list, this is the latest Formula 1 car to end Mercedes' 7-year winning streak. The RB18 was driven by defending world champions Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. The dominant 2021 RB16B car proved to be the dominant force for both drivers, only losing to Mercedes by 28 points in the constructor title. Throughout the 22 races that made up the 2022 season, the Red Bull drivers won 17 of them, and Verstappen's achievement of winning his 2nd consecutive World Drivers' Championship. The RB18 outstandingly won 77% of the races. Number 7. Ferrari F2002. This car has a similar story to the F2004. Like the Mercedes-Benz W196, the F2002 participated for 2 seasons. Like the 2004 car, the 2002 car scored 15 victories over the 2 years, and 9 were 1-2 finishes for drivers Mike Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello. Ferrari easily clinched the 2002 and 2003 Constructors' title. Number 6. Mercedes F1 W05 Hybrid. In 2014, Formula 1 launched a new set of regulation changes that brought V6 hybrid power units and new aerodynamic regulations to the sport. In the first year of the new era, this car commenced Mercedes' unrivaled dominance in the sport, which continued for 8 consecutive years. The W05 was an instant success because it had the best engine of its competitors. Nico Rosberg won the 2014 season opening Australian Grand Prix. Towards the end of the season, the car won 7 back-to-back races with Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg behind the wheel. Mercedes-AMG won 16 out of 19 races and 84% of the season, securing their first World Constructors' Championship with 701 points, finishing 296 points ahead of Infiniti Red Bull Racing. Number 5 on the list, Mercedes' dominance continues in 2015 with the W06 Hybrid, which won 16 out of 19 races and secured Mercedes-AMG's 2nd World Constructors' title with 703 points, finishing 275 points ahead of Ferrari. Number 4 on the list is the Mercedes W07 from 2016, which easily is the most successful racer of the modern era, winning 19 out of 21 races and more than 90% of the races it entered. Hamilton and Rosberg won almost every race in the 2016 season and only lost twice. Firstly, Both drivers crashed into each other during the Spanish Grand Prix, ending their chances of winning the race. Secondly, Lewis experienced an engine failure during the Malaysian Grand Prix. Meanwhile, Rosberg finished in third place with a 10-second penalty added to his race time for hitting Kimi Raikkonen. Number 3. Ferrari Tipo 500. In 1952 and 53, Ferrari's race car, the Tipo 500, achieved remarkable success, with skilled drivers such as Alberto Ascari, Piero Taruffi, and Mike Hawthorne. The Tipo 500 won in an incredible 14 out of 15 races over 2 seasons, giving Ferrari 2 World Drivers' titles. Number 2. McLaren-Honda MP4 4. Out of all the F1 cars on the list, this car only missed out on 1 win over all the races it entered. Whether you're an F1 fan or not, if you know this car, you know the infamous Ayrton Senna, the Brazilian-Portuguese Formula 1 driver. During the 1988 season, he and his teammate Alain Prost won 11 consecutive races for the British team. The McLaren MP4 won 15 out of 16 races and 95% of the races it entered. Designed by American engineer Steve Nicholas, it is the most successful McLaren F1 car ever made, and arguably the most successful F1 car in the world. If McLaren had not experienced misfortunes in one race, they would have won every race that year. Throughout Formula One's 73-year history, there is just one car that won every freaking race it entered without any absence or misfortunes. Number 1. The Alfa Romeo 158. Before being officially recognized as Formula One during the early 20th century, this top-tier motorsport category was referred to as European Championship Grand Prix motor racing in the 1920s and 1930s. In 1937, the Alfa 158 powered an 8-cylinder engine that produced more than 300 horses. The exceptional driving skills of Juan Manuel Fangio and Giuseppe Farina drove the 158 to victory in all 6 races it participated in. And there you have it, the 15 most successful Formula One cars in the past 70 years of the sport. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did so, do not forget to smash the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel for some more content like this. Until next time, peace out, stay safe, Chris the Radar, out.